Welcome to the AFR Saints channel, where we provide you daily content on your favorite team, the New Orleans Saints. Do us a favor and hit that subscribe button. Be sure to leave your comments below and smash that like button. Who dat? So NFL trade deadline has come and gone. A lot of you certainly have been following the trade tracker throughout the course of the day today. And there have been a lot of really significant developments today. Maybe none bigger than Bradley Chubb being traded. The Lions tight end, they've traded to the Vikings. Hawkinson. So, I mean, there are some significant developments today. Chase Claypool being traded to the Bears. Can you imagine Aaron Rodgers looking at his division rival trading for Chase Claypool, and he can get no help whatsoever there in Green Bay? So there are some significant developments today. The Dolphins adding Bradley Chubb is massively significant. They're making a run. You could tell teams this year that feel like they're in the mix that decide, hey, we're going all in. We're making a push to win now. And the Saints decided to stand pat. And that's not necessarily because that's the Saints' MO. We know that's not the Saints' MO. Especially like on draft day and around times like this, the Saints want to be aggressive. If there's a way to make their team better, they do it. But the Saints' inaction today at the trade deadline illustrates what we've talked about for a couple of weeks here now, which is the Saints are stuck. They don't have valuable assets that people with contracts for which people will trade. We talked about it. I went through it all last week. Thomas, Kamara, Ramczyk, all of them. Like all of the players, Lattimore, all of the players that may have trade value that teams would want have accompanying contracts that are terrible for the team taking them on and would be terrible for the Saints because of the way they're structured. So the Saints really had no path of action today, and that's okay. I would rather, honestly, the Saints not do something completely careless today, because it would only continue to dig this hole deeper, especially when a team is sitting here at 3-5 and is a long shot, even considering the Falcons are a game ahead of you, and you're just a game back in the division. You're still a long shot to think you're going to be able to dig out of this hole with all of your shortcomings. You have a long way to go. But here's what I'll say. And something happened today that I think is a cautionary tale for New Orleans. You probably saw this today, but the Indianapolis Colts earlier today relieved offensive coordinator Marcus Brady of his duties. They fired Marcus Brady as offensive coordinator. And I don't know if this is something that caught a lot of people's attention around here, and understandably why it wouldn't. The Colts aren't very good. They're an AFC team, and they fired their offensive coordinator. Frank Reich is the head coach, and he calls all of the plays. But look, when you're floundering, you have to do something, and so the Colts fired their OC, right? Somebody's got to be the fall guy. That in and of itself isn't really the headline to me. It's what this describes, because keep in mind, Andrew Luck left the Colts in a bit of a lurch, right? In August of 2019, he abruptly retired from football after 7 seasons. He played 6 of them, missed 1 season due to injury. He came back, was the NFL comeback player. He missed 2017, came back in 18, was the NFL comeback player of the year, and then retired before the 2019 season. And they were 4-12 in 2019, went the first year without Andrew Luck. And then what we've seen Indianapolis do is go through a revolving door of veterans. They went and got Phillip Rivers, and they made the playoffs. They were 11-5, made the playoffs, lost in the wildcard round. And then they went and got Carson Wentz. That didn't work. And now this year, they tried Matt Ryan, and he's been benched for Sam Ehlinger. And now you fired your OC. When you look at what Indianapolis has done since Andrew Luck's retirement, they went 7-9, 11-5, and 9-8. Forgive me, the 4-12 year was the year that Luck was injured. Forgive me. That was the year that he missed. But his first year out in 2019, they went 7-9. Then they went 11-5, lost in the wild card round, then 9-8 a year ago, and now they are where they are. And I guess I look at New Orleans and I go, man, they're following a pretty similar path, aren't they? Drew Brees retired. You went and signed Jameis Winston. You're thinking, let's see if we can find Brees 2.0, the young veteran quarterback who in this system will flourish like Drew Brees did. I get it. I was for it with Jameis Winston. I'm not completely burying the idea of Winston, although a lot of you probably are, and it looks like the Saints are too. But you tried. Could Taysom Hill be that quarterback? Now you bring in Andy Dalton this year as sort of that veteran presence as well. You tried. You've tried to go that route and find the next Brees. And the question this offseason is, are you going to continue traveling down that path? And the Colts are a cautionary tale of where that path leads. It leads nowhere. It just delays the inevitable. Because if you look at the free agents that you might be able to lure, those young veterans, I mean, you're talking about the likes of Sam Darnold and maybe Baker Mayfield, Carson Wentz, Jacoby Brissett. I mean, this is the market that you would be in. I mean, a best case scenario would be Jimmy Garoppolo, wouldn't it? So ultimately, though, that's not going to lead you to where you want to be. Those are competent NFL players that are likely backups that could start in a pinch for you, but they're never going to be championship quarterbacks. That's the pool you'd be fishing in. That's the purgatory that the Colts are in right now, because they didn't make the decision to move on from their past and say, look, let's start preparing for the next 10 years instead of right now. And I get why the Saints have been in perpetual win now mode, because they had a quarterback that they felt could win at any point with Drew Brees. And they tried to see if they could keep doing that. But it's clear they can't. And yes, there are teams that have drafted quarterbacks high and have busted. The Chicago Bears moved up and drafted Mitchell Trubisky 3rd overall. He's now a backup in Pittsburgh. Actually, is he still in Pittsburgh? Yeah, he's in Pittsburgh. Justin Fields, they're trying their hand there now. The Jets, Sam Darnold, he's now in Carolina and hurt. They got Zach Wilson. Who knows how that's going to go? They got a good record right now, but boy, he looked bad this weekend against New England. There's a lot of people asking questions about him right now. Listen, the only way you're ever going to draft, there's one way that you ever have the opportunity to draft Joe Burrow. One. It's if you are bad enough to have the first pick in a year where there's a transcendent quarterback coming out of the draft. If you're the Jags when Trevor Lawrence is number 1. If you're the Bengals when Joe Burrow is coming out. If you were the Colts in 1998 when you drafted Peyton Manning. I mean, that's the possibility, to draft that guy. The can't miss, no doubter. And I don't know that the Saints get to that point. So you got to trust your evaluation. And there's going to be an opportunity. There's going to be an opportunity in this draft where you have a second-round pick, and it's probably going to be a high second-round pick, to take a quarterback where you have to trust your evaluation to say, can that quarterback be our franchise? The Eagles have done it with Jalen Hurts, and it's pretty incredible what they've done. I didn't believe Jalen Hurts would be a great starting quarterback in the NFL. He's proven that he is. The Cowboys found that in Dak Prescott in round 4. Kirk Cousins was a 4th rounder. I'm not saying this is common. Russell Wilson was a 3rd rounder. I'm not saying it's common, but it's been done. But you have to be able to trust your evaluation, find that guy, and draft your franchise this year, because it's the only way the Saints move on from the Brees era. Take the Indianapolis Colts as a cautionary tale. You cannot keep going down this path of trying to find that veteran quarterback. Oh, but we can make it work. It's the girl that dates the bad guy. Oh, I can make him change. He'll change for me. I'll be the one to make him settle down. No, you won't. He's going to break your heart. It's the same thing with all these quarterbacks. You're not going to make any of these guys franchise quarterbacks. So you got to go draft them. That's your cautionary tale, Indianapolis. Don't be the Colts, because they're struggling right now on that same path that you're on right now. Hey, thanks so much for watching. Please leave your comments. I love to interact, and be sure to hit the red subscribe button below.